6 already in the 5th over of the innings. Have to hope that Peter Lambert can keep going, and the rest of the batsmen play round him and try and use up their 20 overs. Don't get many better Yorkers than that. Well, that's a good shout. This time the answer from Phil Matten is not out. This is mighty close.
Again, first look at that. That looks absolutely stone dead, but I'm not the one who's the umpire. Phil Matten, I think, indicating that the batsman hit it. No, seriously should start thinking about being an umpire.
Umpires kept pretty busy. Usually just have to signal 4s and 6s in 2020 cricket. Having a lot to think about, all these LBW appeals.
Well, that for me looks out as well.
Well, a wicket maiden, as rare as hen's teeth in 2020 cricket. That's what Stephen Humble has achieved. 3 overs, 1 maiden, 3 for 8.
They had 2 wickets as well, I think. It's all on Lambert now. The over before, quite contrasting actually. 4, 6. Looked like things were easing up, and only 2 runs off. Get 26, and that's, well, 27. That's more runs than anyone's got in the first 6 overs, but 4 wickets down. This is a real problem.
2 slips there for Lambert on strike. He'll have to settle for 1 this time. South Northumberland won't mind Walker on strike rather than Lambert. Just so far has thrust his front foot down middle stump and hoped he's made contact with the bat.
This is something that I don't think club players will be exactly used to. A little bit of extra pace from Wightman, but also the bounce of this pitch. Doesn't look like a quick pitch, but under lights maybe just zip through a little bit more, and as you say, he moves forward before the ball's been bowled as a bit of a trigger movement, and ball's banged in. He's got nowhere to go.
Yes, it gets chilly in these September evenings. Nearly 14,000 people here last night for England against Pakistan. Mostly friends and family here this evening. Still on George Walker. 6 balls faced. still in the first mandatory power play, would you believe? Peter Lambert's the only one who's played any shots at all. And it's Lambert who's on strike again for the last delivery of the power play. End of the power play, 26 for 4. And 3 ducks to kick off this power play. Rist LBW, Thomas LBW, and Sims LBW, all for naught. And then the counter-attack from Peter Lambert, magnificent 4 and an even better 6. And then Jaden Hatwell yorked by Humble. Wickets going down at 1, 8, 11 and at 24. 26 for 4 now. And after the opening power play, bowling change at the northern end. Chris Hooker into the attack. Stephen Humble has one over up his sleeve. I'd have been very tempted to keep him on.
John Graham just changing tact a little bit. I wonder if he just feels that there's a little bit more seam out there, but a bit more in it for the seamers. In the semi-final, as soon as the power play was done, brought his spinner on. Here he's happy to stay with seam. Seam's done the damage. Keeping his slip in. Just the 3 men out, protecting the boundary.
Life continues to be a real struggle for George Walker. 9 balls faced now, just a single to his name. Can't even get the strike back to Peter Lambert. South Northumberland's tactics will be pretty clear. Keep Lambert off strike. Attack the other end, that's pulled away. It's wide of the long leg and crosses the boundary for a much needed 4.
Well, didn't he need that? He'll feel much better now. Can't quite explain when you're struggling a little bit how much that first well-timed boundary really just settles your nerves. Banged in short, swivels back on it. Fantastic shot. Will make Walker feel a lot better. Hooker, after seeing the seamers do the damage so far, almost he becomes under pressure almost. Keep the pressure on. The opening bowler's done a really good job. Don't be the man to let up. Runs have been an absolute premium all game. One bad over could be the difference.
It's a better length, the line not quite right, but you've got to pitch the ball up. Make sure that any short delivery is short and well directed. Long hops will be dispatched by anybody in any standard of cricket. Will be wide down the leg side, surely, yes. Well, this is a poor over. Chris Hooker losing his line. Tension of the final, perhaps. Difficult act to follow. Stephen Humble and Johnny Wightman. Walker 5, Lambert 13. Last ball of the 7th over. The run rate just a shade over 4.5. Nobody's got their run rate up to a runner ball in any of the matches yet. Sweeper out on the offside. 7 overs completed. 33 now for 4. Now we're going to see a double bowling change. Lee Crozier into the attack. So see how conditions have changed under the lights for the slower bowler. Spinner's got plenty of turn early on. There's no real sign of the ball having to be dried. So although we had that shower of rain, there doesn't seem to be much of a dew yet.
Crozier's going to have a few footholes to aim at here. Third game here, England, Pakistan last night. Fair amount of work with.
Well, some improvisation at last.
Well, it's about time. I think spinners have had it far too easy here so far. Captains have had it easy. There's been no worrying about changing fields, and that one shot means actually that Swardeston have actually sat down and thought, how are we going to combat this spin? It's a good plan and really pleasing to see. George Walker, left arm spinner himself, so spinners union, he won't want to get out to the spinner here.
It's beaten the backward point again. This is a long boundary. That ball's travelling fast. Excellent batsmanship from George Walker, who started off so slowly. This is going to be a test for Crozier. 6 runs conceded from his first 2 deliveries.
Yeah, the reverse sweep the ball before means that the captain, Graham's, moved his backward point even finer. And very clever batting, just a fraction short, but he's rocked back, cut it through where the man was. Yeah, he's got a runner ball in there now, just from that one paddle reverse sweep earlier on. Made life already much easier for him and much tougher for the spinner. Been about time, that's for sure.
Walker's drawn level with Lambert, who hasn't seen much of the strike. They've both scored 13. Swardeston battling away. 40 for 4 in the 8th over.
First ball Peter Lambert's face for a while. Nicely done. Smart batting. Already Swardeston showing much more ingenuity than what they did in the first game. Let's hope they get reward for what they're doing here at the moment. Otherwise, as a right-hander, get across your stumps, ball spinning a bit. If in doubt, at the very least, get it into square leg for 1 run.
Adam.
No run this time. Better over for Swardeston. 8 runs coming from it, 41 for 4. So they've got the run rate above 5. 15 runs from the last 2 overs since the Bowling was changed. Four single-figure scores at the top of the order, not what Swardeston were looking for when they won the toss and elected to bat. 3 ducks, all trapped LBW. Just a single over then for Chris Hooker. He's out of the attack. Richard Brook coming on at the northern end. Just the 4 men inside the circle now, so already South Northumberland's modus operandi is to stop boundaries.
Good, Richie, good, Ricky. Good, Dick, very good, mate. Stop, Ricky.
Really excellent lights and facilities here for these players. What a thrill for them to play on a test match ground, or it will be a test match ground next summer. England play Sri Lanka here. Be a big day for the Rose Bowl. Goes for it again, and well executed.
Brilliant to see. Walker really struggled early on. Already, he's just changed everything, just with one shot really. The paddle sweep, or the reverse sweep, sorry. Causing headaches here for Graham. He's now going to think, right, how are we going to block that off? So he gets down early, premeditated, he knows he's going to do it, he knows where the field is. Much, much better. Great to see. We said it wasn't about ability, it's about game plans and having to think. So we just see the throw back in from Crozier, the off spinner. Not bad. It's the stumps.
So at last the boundaries are beginning to come for Swardeston. Only saw 3 fours in the whole of Bootle's innings in their semi-final. Here's another boundary, straight mid-wicket. The move to spin not working for South Northumberland. Swardeston changing gear here, the 50's up.
Yeah, he's putting the spinners under real pressure. The spinners aren't having it their own way. They're not just able to run up and try and hit a length. They're having to think. Ball might be skidding on a little bit more, might be a little bit damp. Walker's really put him under pressure.
And after his very slow start, George Walker very nearly up to a runner ball. 50 for 4 after 9. And the first time today that the 50's come up in the first 10 overs. The run rate over 5.5 and over. Can Swardeston get up to 120?
Yeah. Got it, Les. Here we go, Lee. 2 wickets away out now. How long is it? Come on. Here we go, Les. Come on. Well,
John Graham keeping faith with his spinners. Here's Lee Crozier again.
Good, Les. Good, Lee.
Lambert hasn't seen a lot of strike so far. Still to be the standout player.
Good wickets, Les.
Swardeston innings. Good cricket, but the pressure's taken off him now by the way that Walker's come about. He can now just keep playing. He doesn't have to worry about run rate. They still know 120 is a good score. They're on course for that. They just keep playing. The odd boundary here and there. Manoeuvre the field. Peter Lambert, 16 off 16. Going very well.
3 men deep on the leg side boundary. Walker chooses the offside. Single out to long off.
Come on, Lester. Come on, Lee. Come on, boys. To the wicket. Come on, Lee.
in the air for a while, but just those two men inside the circle. Sweeper in action again. Field changes for the left-handed Walker, who's overtaken Lambert. He's faced more balls. Lambert's lost a lot of the strike. But at least Walker accelerating now. Has it carried? It has indeed. Walker goes. Good catch by the skipper, John Graham. And Swardeston are 5 down now for 53.
Yeah, real shame. Good bowling. Held his nerve well, Crozier. That Walker was trying everything he could to manoeuvre the field and move around and make it hard for the spinner. But John Graham takes a good forward catch, good low catch. And that's a big wicket. George Walker, 22 off 24 balls. As well as anyone's done so far today. Swardeston now 53 for 5.
Half the wicket's gone, and we haven't had half the overs yet. Never a good sign. The lower order are left to do the batting for a team. Ian Tufts, specialist batsman. The one change to the Swardeston team from the semi-final.